McDowell.
What is it?
Sir, I was wondering, did you happen to catch the professional football contest on television last night?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it was most exhilarating. The Giants of New York took on the Packers of Green Bay. And in the end, the Giants triumphed by kicking an oblong ball made of pigskin to a big H. It was a most ripping victory.
Son, I'm just going to tell you this one time.
Yes, sir.
You want to keep working here. Stay off the drugs.
Well, shit. Good evening, Packer fans worldwide. Welcome to 2D and a C, the Green Bay Packer pod with the dad bod. This episode we're calling The Banana Peel Strikes Again. Some great moments and a valiant comeback attempt, but in the end, we fell to the Giants with a final score of 24-22. Now, if you want to be positive, you could say, hey, at least our worst ball is improving. But if you want to be negative, you could say, see, Jordan Love is inaccurate and looks like a deer in the headlights. Now, whether your beer glass is half full or half empty kind of guy, it is safe to say Monday night's offensive performances were subpar in terms of the footage that we've all seen in the last 3 weeks. And now, don't even get me started about the defense. I mean, literally, the defense had 0 sacks on the sackiest team in the NFL. They literally lead the NFL in being sacked the most, and we never got to them, not one time. Now, these Packers showed a number of different qualities in this game. Most importantly, being that they aren't ready to handle the pressure of being considered contenders. What does that mean? Are we still good? Are we doomed? Should we just try another jet sweep and another and another and another? What does it all mean? If you're asking yourself these questions, you have come to the right place. So we're going to break it all down, maybe leave out some facts, make some statements that we'll likely regret. And if you got cheese in your veins, beer on your breath, and Packers in your heart, well, you have come to the right place, ladies and gentlemen. So welcome to Two Dads and a Chaz.
Two dads and a Chaz, putting trophies on the wall. Two dads and a Chaz is talking Green Bay Packers football. Not exactly qualified, but answers the call. Two dads and a Chaz, talking Green Bay Packers football.
We gonna break it all down, probably leave out some facts. We gonna make some statements that we'll likely regret. Most of gossip and rumors made straight off the top. So crank up the air condition, cause it's bound to get hot.
Two dads and a Chaz, you know we live it and we live it right. Two dads and a Chaz, we gonna break down football for you tonight. Besides them rings and putting trophies on the wall.
Trophies, y'all.
Two dads and a Chaz is talking Green Bay Packers football. Yeah, we talking Green Bay Packers football.
Oh, I did everything I could, guys. I'm sure you all did too. I know everybody who's been listening has been cheesing up on D, wearing the same underwear, just keeping the game alive. But everything that went wrong feels like could have gone wrong this week. So, gentlemen, welcome. Porcelain Prince, Play Kitty Purr, and of course, T-Mobile. Aaron, tell me about some initial thoughts on this game, man. What did you think? Did you think this was going to go down the way it went down? Because remember last week you said it was going to be 27-13.
Chaz, gentlemen, pleasure to be surrounded by you all as always. Yeah, I would say personally, I was definitely riding high off the past couple of games. I would not call myself cocky by any means, but I thought we had finally taken the strides towards finding an identity, and more importantly, kind of putting those mistakes that have been haunting us the past couple of weeks, behind us. I'll say first and foremost too that I think Monday Night Football is the worst possible time to play football. It's just there's finding the energy, especially when you're on the road under the lights. It's just not good circumstances for this team, right? And for me, I think the underlying theme of the entire game was everybody trying way too hard. I think the flow had been so good these past couple of games, and we had a formula that was working, that we were trying to force things, and then when it just wasn't happening right away, everybody just started playing outside of their duties. You know what I mean? And for me, that started with Jordan Love, just basically making some poor decisions, coming in way too hot, almost right out of the gate, missing receivers. Offensive line just seemed completely out of key. And I think that trickled over to Matt LaFleur, who initially I thought had a pretty good game plan. But as the game kind of went on and on, I felt like he was kind of losing the chess match in some pretty critical moments. Moving over to the defense, I thought they kind of held up their end of the bargain, which I'm starting to realize is maybe all they're capable of, is kind of keeping a team like under 20 points or less. And the offense is expected to do what they're supposed to do. Now, when the offense isn't putting up those points, or if we're playing from behind, this team, I don't think is built or capable of doing that, especially with a lot of the injuries that we have currently. So I'm not like completely down. I'm not completely out. I think it was one of our worst performances of the year, but excited to get everybody else's take.
Ty, my man, tell me a little something. Where'd you watch the game? What kind of cheese did you eat? What were your initial thoughts?
Yeah, all the cheese at the crib. Initial thoughts. Yeah, I agree. I mean, with a lot of Mayhew hit a lot of good points there. My initial thoughts were, I can't believe that week 4 team reared its ugly head again. It was the same process of continuous penalties, offense, special teams, especially the back-to-back 15-yard penalties that set them up, so I'm watching this team come out being the same stuck team week 4, 5, 6, and I was wondering where the team from the previous 3 weeks was. That was the team I expected. I don't know. I'm on record. Everybody knew. I thought we were going to come out and hose these guys. Right. I thought there's no way that they're a bad football team. We're a good football team. Yeah, I agree with that Monday night point. God, as a fan, that was the longest day. I couldn't imagine what that's like to be a player. It's just the grind of it all. I was ready to watch this football game at like 3 p.m. And then oh my God, there's still 4 more hours before we even get to the festivities. Oh, I just wish that we could figure out what makes this team default to this position and energy and just lack of execution, and fix that, because we are still in the hunt. There is still a hope. We're not mathematically eliminated, but the team that showed up and lost to the Giants last night is not going to get it done. And so there's a lot of things, a lot of pieces. We can talk about it throughout the pod, but man, that was a disappointment. Tyson.
Thank you, Slay Kitty Purr. I must say that it was a disappointing performance. It was really hard to see such beautiful momentum be reduced to, oh, those were good days, and now we're back to a bad day. Our margin for error is small. We're a young team. We really can't afford to get in a loop of failure where it starts spreading throughout the team. And I wouldn't panic. Certainly not early in the game when we aren't playing well, except for I've seen it with this team like a few weeks in a row. I know what this looks like. And it started to look like that team again. And it was poorly thought out, executed. Decisions were poorly made, from the coaching to the players to every single person, even to the fucking towel boy. Everybody made a mistake. And it just was really hard to watch. And of course, when you're going into the worst place to play football on the planet, and you are dealing with Monday Night Football, brought to you by Satan. I fucking hate Monday Night Football so much. I hate ESPN. I'm sorry, Walt Disney, come after me if you want to. ESPN is a graphics factory brought to you by the devil, and I don't care for him, and I don't care for Joe Buck, and I certainly don't care for Troy, and I cannot fucking stand those guys. I cannot fucking stand. Some people don't care. Some people are like, I don't care. I don't see what the big deal is. I'll tell you what the big deal is. These motherfuckers jinx our team. We can't perform when I hear Troy Aikman is the sound of my dreams just fucking whittling away, just going. I hate those fucking guys and their stupid fucking voices. And I cannot believe, I'm glad they're down to 1 day a week, and I only have to see them like, not every Sunday, but every one Monday, 2 Mondays a year.
Yeah. There are some people in the state of Wisconsin that don't pay for drinks. I believe Nick Perry does not pay for drinks when he enters the state of Wisconsin. Joe Buck does not get served.
No, he gets
Exactly.
double. He pays double.
Yeah, Joe Buck pays double, and Troy Aikman does not get served. Joe's got to bring him drinks out into the parking lot so that Troy can have a good time in Wisconsin. It doesn't happen.
I would love to, if it's okay, guys, kind of just break down this initial drive and where it started to go wrong. This is not going to be a long segment because we lost momentum early. Let's just go ahead and go to the start of the game here, folks. Welcome out to the Meadowlands, New Jersey's home of the shittiest turf in all the NFL. It starts with a kickoff from the fattest kicker, Randy Bullocks, whatever his name is. I don't care. He kicked it off. We downed at the 25. You see Jordan Love come out of shotgun. We throw a nice middle pass to Jaden Reed for a 5-yard gain. That's looking pretty good. Then 2nd and 5, we all once again set up in shotgun. It's an A.J. Dillon handoff, and that goes for 7 yards, which is a pretty good play. First down. All right, we're doing it. No third downs. This is the kind of first drive I like. First down, again, we are in shotgun. Jordan Love passes right to Tucker Kraft, who pushes for a 7-yard gain to the 43. I'm feeling really good at this point. It is 2nd and 3, again in shotgun. A lot of shotgun today. Penalty on Jenkins. False start, 5 yards back. Next play, penalty on the Giants, 5 yards. It's a stalemate. We're back to where we started. But the momentum has been broken already, guys. Here we go. Jordan Love, incomplete pass to Romeo Doubs. 3rd down. Jordan Love, incomplete pass to Devontae Wicks. We're punting. This is a theme that you're going to hear for the rest of the game, and I'm not going to waste your time with it. But basically, we lost our mojo after 2 first downs, and it took almost the entire first quarter to get it going. And man, did we have nothing but gifted opportunities. So it was going to be a rough night, and it was obvious to me. Even though that team is not good, we were playing down to them, and they were playing out of their mind for them, which was good enough to beat our defense.
Well, I only have one note on all of that. The whole segment would have been just perfect if you'd have said, we lost our mojo from the get-go. Missed opportunity. That's 1 strike. I will be going back and editing that in. Well, talking about major inconsistencies, I want to move on to the QB position. I want to talk about Love's inconsistencies, picks, his offensive line. This one, guys, feel free to take some time on this. But Mayhew, what did you think about this overall deer in the headlights, as I said?
Yeah, I think the term I would use is uncomfortable. It felt like almost from the get-go, like Tyson said, completed it the first couple of passes. Once he little hot to Romeo Doubs on the right, and then the one to Dontavian Wicks again where he's open, he just overshot. The rest of the game, it seemed like his accuracy was a continuous issue. There's one to Dontavian Wicks where he runs a perfect route, sits right down in the zone, and he throws it like 4 yards to the left, like he was in the wrong. It's like, man, you see where the guy is in the zone, just like hit him. And again, at least 2 or 3 balls like underthrown like over and over again, where some of those issues that I thought would kind of continue to get cleaned up have still been plaguing him. I think another part of this was it was another game for me where everything just if he was doing something right, somebody else is doing something wrong. Like the offensive line, if they gave him protection, he just wasn't hitting like the receivers. If the offensive line was kind of breaking down quickly, I felt like he either made the wrong decision to get outside the pocket too early and just look dysfunctional, or stay in the pocket too long and not throw the ball away. He needs to understand the difference of like when a play is broken, you need to throw it away. Do you guys remember the one last night? They were trying to run a screen to A.J. Dillon and he kind of like fell. A.J. Dillon gets back up and they showed the camera view. It's like 5 Giants charging him. And he just kind of pitches in the ball.
Here you go.
Exactly.
Good luck.
It's a completion for a 10-yard loss.
Man.
Throw it out. Just throw it on the ground. Just throw it out of bounds. You know what I mean? Take a sack. Fuck it.
Even intentional grounding's only for 5.
If you go back and you look at this guy's college tape, like I thought he had some wheels, man. He was like a scrambler, could throw well on the run, and he's still okay throwing on the run. But every time he tucks that ball and moves outside the pocket, he does not look like a confident man. And you saw that in basically the scramble that ended up being a fumble, Chaz. I'm not sure if you want to pull that one up, but if you kind of look, execution was not like 100% there, but he just doesn't protect the ball. He doesn't know how to follow his blockers and show like a little bit of patience. I feel like Tucker, he could have followed him, probably got to the outside. I just wonder, like, if we're going to call these plays, I need him to feel more comfortable.
Yeah, if you get a quarterback draw, you got to run to the sticks. Everybody knows you got to get around the edge on that. In the NFL in general, you can ask AJ Dillon this. You don't get to stop and then start again. That defenses are too fast, and that's what we saw on that play out of Jordan. It was really frustrating because it seemed like if he would have just committed to going straight or committed to the corner, he would have gotten the first down in either. The fact that he took a second, tried to make a move, get a full stop, and then start again. You lost all momentum. And I'd say that's a theme going through the entire night of most of the issues with Jordan Love. Mayhew, I'll let you get back.
Yeah, I'll wrap it up, T-Bone. That's well said. Look, the man's a roller coaster. We've been saying it for like weeks here, but I think what really summed it up for me was his interception, like into double coverage, was one of the worst decisions I've seen. And our success over these past couple of weeks have been because he's just been delivering the football where he needs to, playing within the offense, and not turning the ball over. And he did almost the complete opposite for all 4 quarters last night.
Here it is, gents.
Yeah, this is rough. See, I don't understand.
Cuts in.
That.
Just go to the sticks, like you said.
Yeah, just go to the sticks. And if you don't, and he's also like, do you not trust your tight end? That's a deer in the headlights situation. He saw 4 guys. He's not used to taking shots like that. Before he knew it, he was put himself in a position where he was about to take a shot, closes his eyes, forgets to hold on to the ball. I mean, I'm not going to say I'd react better, but I gotta say, if you've been playing quarterback this long, you got to know what happens when the defenders get to you, right? You're going to take a shot. Just hold on to that ball.
One final thing, and I spoke to Chaz about that earlier too, was what I'm looking for in like growth and just like confidence is like he fumbles that ball in a rather like, it's a big moment. Like we're kind of driving down and what's he going to do? How is he going to react, And the very next thing was he throws like that interception where, again, he's forcing it. He wasn't just like, hey, we got plenty of time in this game. Let's just stick to the plan. It was like everybody was reaching for trying to hit dingers all night long and just fucking striking out left and right.
And let's also not forget that besides the fact that the defensive line was able to get their hands on his passes consistently throughout the night. I mean, there could have been 4 more picks. He had some of the ugliest footballs that I have seen thrown in a long time, making it almost impossible to catch. Go ahead, Tyson.
Guys, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but in terms of Jordan Love's play, there's something that we got to kind of talk about, and that is that as a Green Bay Packers football fan, we have been seduced by terrible footwork, guys. We love it. We love the way it looks. We love when guys throw off their back foot. We love when they throw with their feet in the air. We like these quarterbacks that don't need good footwork because they got that arm, baby. I don't think Jordan Love is Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers. I think this guy needs to have as good a footwork as, I don't know, Tommy DeVito or any other starting quarterback in the NFL. I don't see any other guy other than Aaron Rodgers trying to pull off the kind of ridiculous, rushed, off kilter, feet facing the wrong way, in the air, throw the ball when no one's ready, and it's inaccurate. And Rodgers did the same shit the last couple of years as a Packer, where
his entire career.
Unnecessarily on an easy throw, unnecessarily makes a crazy, wacky throw and barely misses a guy by enough that he can't catch it. And then he's mad at the guy. It's like, why didn't you just like set your feet and throw it? Why didn't you do that? So when we said, hey, Jordan Love, this guy has got some special qualities, him having poor footwork really wasn't a problem for us. In fact, it kind of turned us on. We're like, hey, I kind of like the sound of that. You're telling me this guy is shitty footwork, he can still throw the ball? That sounds like Green Bay Packers quarterback. We're gonna do it again, boys. Let's book him. Let's get him in here. So like this is a real issue because these are the kind of fundamental skills that you're supposed to develop in like high school and college. And now they don't play enough. They're throwing so much material at poor Jordan Love, so much a wonderful, beautiful scheme that our coach can't help but fucking vomit out from week to week. It's hard to focus on the fundamentals, as Coach McCarthy would say. And I think that this is going to be a continued issue until we get to an offseason where this guy can realize the importance. Look at all the bad throws. Almost every one this year, his footwork was awful. Every great throw he had this year, his footwork was accurate, and there's a couple magic throws where the footwork isn't good. I cannot live with poor footwork for another 10 years, especially if it means a lot of incompletions that should be easy and a lot of interceptions that have no business being thrown.
It's the reason why he's missing guys who are wide open by 10 yards. If you're looking for a simple explanation why guys are wide open and he's throwing way beyond, and it's on the wide open ones are obvious, but it's the not hitting the guy in stride, making him slow down, turn around, catch the ball, readjust. Couple great snags by Wicks and Heath on just like readjusting, but they shouldn't have to readjust that much if you're doing everything else right.
I was going to mention all this being said about Jordan just real quickly. When we did need to get a touchdown at the end of the game, I mean, I know it was really good field position, but we still found a way to muster and get it done in that moment, which I respect. But one thing I wanted to touch on was Don Martindale, defensive coordinator of the Giants, gave this team
Wink. His name is Wink.
His name's Wink.
Wink. There's only one Wink in the world, and it's Wink Martindale. Go ahead.
Got it. Gave us fits last year too, man. He's an intelligent coordinator. They do a great job of being able to rush just 4 and somehow sacking our quarterback with 2 guys, or they disguise blitzes really well. They're super physical. They throw us off our rhythm. And you could tell again that we were just uncomfortable all game long. So I got to tip my hat to that a little bit as well. Offensively for the Giants, I feel much, much differently, but we'll get to that in a moment, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I want to. What?
Sorry, real quick. I just have to challenge that I'd say that the entire 3 quarters of that game, they found a way to blitz 5 or 6. He was blitz crazy on us. We haven't been blitzed that hard, that consistently since Jordan Love played the Kansas City Chiefs, his first time starting an NFL game. That's the last time that a team just said, go get them. And that's and it took us, and then by the end of the game, yeah, they can just rush 4 because we're all skittery jittery. We're scared as shit. We're not able to get in a rhythm. So like Wink Martindale did a great job of saying, hey, Captain scheme a lot. We're just gonna go ahead and shoot your gaps and shut all your shit down before it even starts.
He also got lucky in that he faced the Packers team that didn't have Aaron Jones, because apparently this guy is our mojo. Because when he plays even 12 snaps a game, we win. When he doesn't suit up, we don't have a chance, apparently. It's the one common denominator that I'm looking at. We've made a little adjustment and rotation with offensive linemen. But man, if you want to talk Mr. Mojo, he wasn't wearing pads on Monday night, and I think that hurt us a ton.
And speaking of running game, we can't talk about the running game, especially without talking about this guy right here. I'm not saying he had the greatest game. I'm not saying, that he had even a big dick day, but he was one of my big dick players of the day. Quadzilla was absolutely stunning when we needed him. Yes, he was getting stopped a lot, which was odd to me because our offensive line suddenly just seemed to forget how to play the game a little bit. But if I could, if you don't mind, gentlemen, show you, I think, my favorite play of the game, which was done by this beautiful, beautiful fucking stallion of a beast. Watch this right here. Okay, so he's going to fake the play action, right? Boom. He
RPO.
runs up. Here he goes. Boom. Juke 1. Juke 2. Stiff arm. Stiff arms again. Shoulder. Hit. 3 hits, dude. What an amazing, like, talk about just grit. Just grit from a player.
Yeah.
That was the kind of shit that I thought I was going to see at least 10 more times out of him. And sadly, that was his biggest play of the day.
He's a good running back. He just needs somebody else to take the other 12 to 15 snaps. He just is not the every down feature guy. Like, he's got to be counterbalanced somehow. And he's in missing Aaron Jones. Dion is missing an aspect of his game too. And the fact that he showed up like that last night really gave it awesome effort. I mean, he was getting up off the ground and catching passes. So I think we got a lot to like about Dion's performance last night.
Ty, I agree. And Chaz, I'm glad you brought up that particular clip, because I think what's impressed me most about him this season has been his ability to catch the ball. He's looked smooth in that aspect of the game. And I'll take it a step further. I would love to see what he would do behind a solid offensive line that's built to run the football, because I don't think A.J. Dillon is actually our problem at all, if I'm being honest. I watched this guy get fucking dick to run through constantly. And man, he racks up, let me look at it here. He had 15 attempts for 53 of like the hardest yards I've ever seen a guy run. And every time I go to the stat sheet after the game, I'm like, man, he must have had a big day. No, it's like the same thing. And again, I don't think he's the issue. But I will tell you also, Tyson, you know what I'm talking about. The shot in the arm last night, I thought was Taylor. He kind of came in with the few opportunities he had. He looked electric at moments, man.
Tippy toes.
No, we had a good dual power back thing going, and I wish we would have gone Titans ball, to be honest. The offensive side, I know you have to throw the ball, and you want to get Jordan back into a rhythm, and you want to show him you believe in him and all this stuff. But damn it, dude. I mean, the game was close enough, and we had the backs. And we should have, even a bad offensive line should be able to knuckle down and do some run blocking. And we have guys on the team that are good at that. It was really frustrating to me that we got away from Taylor just because he didn't run out of bounds, or it seems like Taylor's one of those guys that makes a little mistake and gets a big consequence. And then you get other starters that make a little mistake and nobody talks about it, and make a big mistake and, oh, don't worry about that. And Aaron Jones fumbles fucking 9 times a year. And it's fine. We love the guy, but Taylor, that son of a bitch, tried to go for 2 more yards. How dare he get back on the practice squad of the Giants? It seems to me, can I touch base about, what I feel LaFleur's strategy was in this.
You may. I would only say that it just seemed, and tell me if you agree or not, that his play calling seemed familiar, quote unquote, to games we saw when we weren't doing well this season. If you agree or disagree,
I do agree. I also think that the situation is similar. Who wasn't on the team this game, guys? Christian Watson wasn't there, right? That's our speed. Who else?
Musgrave.
So like all the seam guys, all the ones that stretch the vertical game. So I'm sorry. Not McCoy. Sorry, LaFleur. What Matt did is he decided, hey, we can't go vertical, let's go horizontal. He decided, I'm going to stretch this team. We still have team speed on them, just not long team speed, not that deep team speed. We're going to beat them to the edges. So all of our plays felt like we were running to the sideline. We were running to the sticks. We were running to get to the edge. And like that just takes away such a massive part of what this offense has, especially when you have such a young team. You should be afraid of a deep threat. And I also will say, I wasn't hating what our wideouts were putting up there, but it was clear from a coaching strategy, I wasn't seeing the deep routes. And when you have a team that can line up with 4 or 5, everybody's kind of in that medium range anyway. So like that, you're not setting a quarterback up for success when you can't pass block. You can't throw anything deep to make them hurt against the blitz. And everybody is hanging out in the direct zone of where you would quickly drop the ball off. It seems almost too easy to be that effective, but he totally LaFleur overthought how to beat this easy team / I want to work on some stuff. And this, as a result, it just the momentum went backwards. It totally backfired, and the negative momentum took over. I can't believe we lost by as little as we did. I'll be honest, guys. I thought we deserved to lose this game by 10 points.
That's how bad the Giants are. That's how bad they were. Every time we committed a penalty, they committed a counter penalty. We'd turn the ball over, they'd punt a bunch. Like it was watching a good team really lose to a bad team because they did everything in their power to give that one back to us. I mean, we gave them a gift of field position on the 30-yard line. They couldn't even get the field goal. Like that's how bad they were. That's how much this stings. Like, and it was just one mistake after another. There were a few bright spots. I think Taylor was one. I think Malik Heath was another of those big time bright spots. He was the one guy trying to shred that zone, finding the open spots in the secondary. Malik Heath was a nice spot.
Some hot takes from some hot fellas. Before we get into talking about the defense, I want to go to a fun little segment that we haven't done in a little while, but I feel that we all, I think, can relate with from this game, and that is, drum roll, Chaz. What grinds your gears? You know what really grinds my gears, guys?
What, Chaz?
Thank you, Slay Kitty Purr. Monday Night Football used to be a very sacred thing, okay? We had to deal now, of course, with these two assholes that are commentating it, but the beauty of knowing you were going to watch Monday Night Football meant that you also knew you were only going to watch one fucking game. Now they're trying this new bullshit with another game, and I'd be fine with that because guess what? Even though it's called prime time and they're doing it with two different teams, I'm not watching it. But you know what really pisses me off? What grinds my gears is during the middle of my game, I've got these two numbskulls talking their bullshit, and they're cutting the screen in half with the other game with two teams I could give two fucks about. What the literal fuck are you doing, NFL? Stop this shit. Stop now. Turn back. Iceberg, dead ahead.
ESPN is the worst. Proceed, guys.
It's goddamn ridiculous. Like if I wanted to watch that other game, I would be watching that other game. I tuned into this particular channel because this is what I want to see. You know what I mean?
I've got
Unreal.
Sunday ticket. If
don't
I wanted
mind-
to watch 4 games, I could. But I don't during my fucking game on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, you don't force that on someone. I don't go to TGI or I don't go to Buffalo Wild Wings, okay? My brain can't handle all those screens. I'm not into it. These assholes at ESPN are graphics happy lunatics. Their budget's too big. Someone needs to chop them down. They need to quit laying people off and stop making graphics. It's like it's a seizure machine up there. They got 19 screens scrolling every which way. I can't keep track of what's going on. I'm getting sick just thinking about it.
Oh my God. Mayhew, that's what grinds my gears. And thank you, gentlemen, for taking that ride with me because I have not been that upset over something that wasn't a loss during a game, other than bad play calling, than that in maybe forever. I was losing my voice screaming at the television, get the fuck off the screen. But that's what grinds my gears.
Does anyone like that? Did anyone?
No,
was anyone happy with
I hated
that?
it too. And here's the thing. If you want to have 2 games on Monday night, do the NBA thing and start like a West Coast game at 10 p.m. That's fine. I'll fall asleep to that thing. But to do it simultaneously just seemed dumb and awkward and rude. And yeah, I hated everything about that that split screen nonsense too. I specifically, never want to see
Horse
that.
shit. We hate it. We know you guys are listening. 2D and a C. Don't fucking do this shit to us again. I swear to God.
Don't ever.
I will start
Don't
sending you so much hate mail. I'm gonna start sending you dog shit in the mail.
Also,
We're gonna stick Shane from Shano on you if you guys don't get it under control. You don't want this smoke, okay? I'm gonna tell you that. You don't want this smoke. This guy's
You don't want
everywhere.
none of this, Dewey Cox.
He is the internet.
Gentlemen, that was the Grind Your Gears segment. Let's talk a little bit about this defense. Ideally, I think the Joe Barry philosophy. And when I say the Joe Barry philosophy, I like to say, what is it? Mayhew?
Yeah, Chaz, I think people try to like in layman's term, always use like bend but don't break, which I think is just is total bullshit. But I think his philosophy is he's willing to give up a lot of like short stuff, like in front to avoid the big play, and then basically try to create turnovers or hold them to field goals, which I mean, in theory is fine. I can give him the benefit of the doubt to a small degree here where like we're very injured. Okay, he's out there with guys like especially the back end is either rookies or people with like zero experience. But as of recent, they were playing like halfway decent, right? I think the issue for me is twofold. One, you're going into a game against a team where what's the threat here, guys? It's Saquon Barkley, a running game, and a quarterback that we know has wheels, but is very inexperienced, does have a ton of receivers. So what's like your game plan? Like, I don't think like run stopping seemed almost non-existent to a certain degree. We ended up giving over 200 yards. I basically saw us over pursuing constantly, like Tyson alluded to earlier, where I saw the same play happen 12 times. I swear to fucking God. He basically rolled out right, would run for 12 yards. And it's like, are we adjusting? Are we doing anything here? It's like, no. And that's the other part is like his adjustments to the game plan to basically stop what's clearly going wrong in front of him is just non-existent. And then to sum it all up, to skip ahead, I'm sorry here to like the final drive is like you get the touchdown. Unfortunately, you don't get the 2-point conversion. A field goal loses you this game. And he does not play like it. He doesn't play like every inch matters. He was playing like prevent defense the first 2 snaps, guys, like 12 yards off receivers for some of the easiest completions I've seen in a very long time. And those are the things I know I said last week that I think his job is safe is we just know what he is and what he brings to the table. And it's just not enough for me. It's just not enough anymore. So ride the season out. We'll see where we go from there.
A bunch of guys regressed. Bunch of guys fell apart. And one guy totally unraveled where I'm willing to put him in the Brian Bostic, Ty Montgomery camp, and Keyshawn Nixon can go shove it. I don't care what handles Keyshawn Nixon at this point. Keyshawn Nixon loves some Keyshawn. Go do it somewhere else, Keyshawn Nixon. Muff the punt and then just lay on it. Just lay on it. He was missing tackles. When the Giants had that big pass at the very last drive, it was Keyshawn Nixon who'd blown the coverage and let the guy run right by him. He had a terrible game, and it would be forgivable if it weren't a pattern of, I don't think this is the first time Keyshawn Nixon has single-handedly lost us a football game. The guy's a liability. He's a problem. And every time I see him back there to return a kick, I have the same feeling I have when I step in dog do. It's like right before I can smell it. It's like it squishes and you're just like, oh no. That's how I feel when I see Keyshawn Nixon back there to get it. I can't handle the guy anymore and I'm done with him.
I would put it on Versace more so than I would even on Nixon. We got 2 returners. One of them is born to return kicks and looks the most natural. I don't know if he'll ever fumble a ball, and that's Jalen Reed. The problem is Versace said we got our speed guy, our big play guy. Get him out there. We need a big play right now. It's like, no, we don't. We need to not fuck up right now. Special teams has lost us so many points today. Mm-hmm. Just don't fuck up. Just catch the ball and lay down. Like, that's all we need. I don't need you to return one to the house. And what good would that do us right now? We can't stop them. I don't need a quick score. I need a consistent offensive drive. It was really frustrating. Our special teams
lost.
We'll get into it. We'll get into it later. But I'm
flat lost.
Really frustrating.
Versace is the new Joe Barry. He's the one losing us football games. Now,
but in terms of what you're saying about Nixon, in that regards of kick returning, he was having an awful game. Why is Versace being like, that's my guy? Get him out there.
Well, he wasn't just screwing up on special teams, though. He was also screwing up on defense
across the board.
In the run defense, pass defense, Nixon was just bad last night, and it was to the point where he cost us just about every opportunity to come back into this one.
Right now, our corners that we have, they can't play zone. They don't know how. They're really bad at it. So we're just playing man. We're manning up. It's not looking great, but we're doing it. And it's putting our guys out on an island. And I'll be honest, that Ballantyne guy, I keep waiting for him to turn into a pumpkin. I'm like, when is the fairy dust going to wear off and this guy's going to stop looking like an NFL corner? Because he continuously kind of takes care of his side, which is that's not how that's supposed to work. Corner is supposed to be the hardest thing to buy. Do you think we need the highest paid corner in the NFL on our team? Because we have him. He's not playing, but we have him. His name's Jair Alexander, and he hasn't played much this year. He's the highest paid corner in all of football. My issue, Mayhew, with our defense is this: as the starters who've been out the whole year, our excuse, our reason, our veterans, all right, our leadership, when they come back, we take a huge regression dip. It is not a thank God they're back, we're ready to win. It's like, oh wow, we're way worse than I anticipated. I'll be honest, for me, I want McDuffie and Quay in there. I really don't want to see Campbell starting right now. I feel like he's a liability. I feel like there are players on the defensive line that are showing me every time they get on the field, they're ready to do their job, hold down their gap, make a difference. And there are other guys that are supposed to be starters that are over pursuing and creating obvious opportunities for our opponent. So like, I don't think we have two different issues on this team. On the offense, too many options, too many things, too much you're asking of a young offensive team. On defense, it's too easy. It's like playing Madden with someone and they just press cover two man, cover two man, cover two man, cover two man. I'll just do the same play all day long. I'll just stick with it. And then also we have some major issues with our nickel. That guy should not be a nickel. Our nickel corner being Nixon. It was a fun experiment. We saw the speed, the energy. At times, he's a physical leader, emotional leader. But there's a reason we found this guy working at a Subway. Okay,
Yeah,
he is not a difference maker, which is what you need out of that position. That's a guy who's like, I'm too good of a safety to just play safety, so they put me in nickel. I'm just too good to not be on the field, so they put me here. This is not a place where you're like, you're fast, you can play, you want to play nickel. Like, it's just, that is one of the hardest positions on the entire field.
Nice, just to tag on just real quick. So Nixon, end of the game, gave up that 32-yard catch after losing leverage on the final drive. And it was basically the explosive play that put them, at the 22-yard line for the field goal. That apparently was the only completion over 15 yards by the New York Giants the entire day. Point being,
that's good.
Keep it in front of us.
And that's the other thing is that's, you want to know our identity, Chaz? You just said it, Mayhew. We don't give up the big play.
Before we get into our first break, we're going to do at least one more segment. I'm going to move this over to Mayhewdovich. Yes, the porcelain prince. This is a fun little segment that we called Fun Stats. Mayhew, take it away.
Yeah, gentlemen, got some just a couple of real fun stats for you here. First and foremost, for those of you out there who were not aware, since Matt LaFleur came to our team, he has been completely undefeated in the month of December. Well, I am sorry to say that came to a crashing halt against the New York Giants last night. Also, since they've been following quarterback stats, we have to go all the way back to 1950. Since a quarterback had a completion percentage over 80% and also ran over 70 yards, alluding only once again that the Packer defense loves to make stars out of lower tier quarterbacks. It's what we do best. And last but not least, they plugged this one pretty hard in the game yesterday, but we were the most penalized special teams in the goddamn NFL going in that game with 19 penalties. And I'm pretty sure we racked up 4 or 5 more as well. So, gentlemen, fun stats.
Guys, we can't go to commercial before we talk about the special teams.
Real quick, before we do that, can we talk shit about DeVito's stupid fucking family that bothered me that entire game with their stupid go.
I think you just did.
I just can't deal with that like cliche New Jersey trash garbage. No one's that Italian. No one is that Italian. I'm sure of it. Take your fedora,
I think you'd be. I gotta disagree, buddy. I gotta disagree. I have met these, buddy. I have met these skinny guineas. I gotta tell you, that's how they talk. That's how they walk. It's that all day.
The gold bracelet on that man is very much real, Tyson.
You go to Montville, New Jersey, right across the fucking George W. Bridge. This is all you're gonna get. It's the sausage and peppers and gabagool all goddamn day. And it's you know what? And the first time you experience it, it's terrifying because you're trying not to laugh. You're thinking, oh, you got to get out of here. When's the next train coming?
What's that fucking smell?
Yeah, and dude, but I swear to God, they're real people, and it's terrifying.
Yeah, no, I believe you. But also they also look like extras from The Sopranos. So like, I just feel like that wasn't. The New York Giants, you deserve that quarterback. I hope he's your Tony Romo for 9 disappointing seasons of almost making the playoffs. Okay, I wish you the fine Tommy DeVito New York Giants dynasty of mediocrity. Heyo.
And with that, we got to talk about special teams, my friend. First and foremost is going to be Keyshawn Nixon. Obviously, he was the front runner for fuck-upable plays, I would say, for the special teams. Anybody feel like disagreeing?
Great
no?
award.
Okay.
It's an excellent award.
Absolutely. And I think it comes down to this classic case of muff diving. Yes, the ball goes up. He catches it, drops to the ground, gets up. Oh, he lost the ball again. And commercial.
I didn't know that's what they meant by muff diving. I'm learning so much. Educational program.
That's what they meant. It was now, Ty, you brought up something before because I'm gonna argue just a little bit about this. I can't remember your exact words, but like him dropping back into getting ready to catch that ball in the end zone and then coming out from like 9 or 10 yards, like, and you're just like biting your nails. I'm not. I think this guy is a fucking savage. It's obvious this guy's a savage. He should be on medication, and I'm glad that he's not, because for the 30% that he fucks up an entire game, he's got whatever the other numbers are, because I'm bad at math, where he is ripping guys' heads off. He is Quay Walker if he was returning balls. You know what I'm saying?
67%.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude. I think he's gonna be a great Cleveland Brown next year.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I would love it if he were Devin Hester or Desmond Howard or whoever he thinks he is. But no,
He's in a Ferrari some days, but not yesterday.
No.
Jesus. Gonna make a great Cleveland Brown.
No, he is. He's got that Josh Dobbs future concussed retired player written all over him, and I appreciate what he's done for our team. I appreciate the sacrifice. I appreciate an energetic boost, but man, it just feels like even if we catch fire, we win the next 4, we even win a game in the playoffs. This year was an experiment. We are gonna see what we got, and we know what we got in Keyshawn Nixon. If we were ready to trade away Rasul Douglas, I just don't see a future for Keyshawn Nixon on this team. In fact, I feel like it's an addition by subtraction based on what the depth in that position has shown.
And we wanted to root for the guy. We were all about his attitude. We were all about his
He was the difference last year.
We were all about his out of bounds after the play penalties. We were like, fine, if that's what it takes. And somebody had to step up, because with Jair being gone so much and Stokes is, I don't know if he plays football, the trading Rasul, somebody had to fill that void. And I thought it would be Nixon, but now we have better options. And I'm done. The Carrington
discount options.
The Valentine thing is really, really energizing me. Valentine with the fumble recovery and never giving up was
amazing
from a rookie.
I was screaming, like, no whistle.
Yeah. And he was yelling at people, block for me, you idiots. Like,
yeah,
as the youngest guy on the field. His awareness is great. And Keyshawn Nixon doesn't have the self-awareness to keep himself from cratering our entire playoff chances.
I just want to maybe cap this one off by saying he
Please
is,
do, and
according
then
to
take
Pro
us to
Football
commercial, brother.
Focus.
Say it again,
According to
Megan,
Pro
sorry.
Football Focus, Keyshawn Nixon is our lowest rated defensive player throughout the entire year. So what you guys are seeing, it's real. It's real. He's going to be a great Brown. I think that's a good transition point for me towards what I think is an even bigger problem here is Rich Bisaccia, gentlemen, who is kind of flew under the radar as of recent for what I think is maybe the weak point of our team currently, whether it's the return game, consistent penalties, a kicker who's been like on and off, and like a punter who nobody knows this guy's name, but he is fucking trash, man. Like every time it goes up, it's like 25 yards later. Like I'm waiting for like the camera to pan downfield, and it's like, no, oh, it's right there. Okay. And we sit here and we shred Joe Barry week after week, but Bisaccia, like what's going on here? Last year, it felt like he inherited a really real problem, and he was able to make some pretty serious strides. And we come into this year, and if nothing, we've regressed. And I think part of it for me too is we basically promoted him to like, what is it, like assistant head coach, whatever you want to say. And I think it's a similar scenario to Stenovich, like offensive line. He moves up to offensive coordinator, and both aspects of our team have gotten nothing but worse. You know what I mean? So thoughts, gentlemen, where are we at with Bisaccia?
I feel like we're making a mistake as a team. All of our highest paid members, all the guys that we try to like show our commitment level to with zeros at the end of a check. These guys can't back it up. And it seems like it eats our team alive. When we overpay, it's not just a financial mistake. Rich Bisaccia is the highest paid special teams coordinator in the entire NFL. We brought him in to take our team from 31, which is almost as bad as you can be. And he brought us all the way up to like 22. And we were so happy with that. We were super happy with that. That's way better. I mean, we were like 15. I don't know. Either way, we're like, this guy's the man. Well, yeah, you said it. We regressed. And also the special team, our team is not in a position where we can afford to move backwards on essentially the thing that happens before and after the commercial. We can't have that affect our team while we're trying to build something special. Also, Matt LaFleur doesn't treat every player equally, right? Like I was saying about Jonathan Taylor, or not Jonathan, I mean Patrick Taylor versus other people's mistakes. Well, I feel like special teams should probably be on the shortest of leashes. And I feel like Bisaccia saves a lot of guys, a lot more than he should. And I feel like if this year doesn't go well and we end up failing, I think LaFleur can stick around just by letting Bisaccia go. And I think that we won't get rid of Joe Barry, which I hate, but we will have an opportunity to bring in somebody who has some young energy, who can get these guys to play. Chaz, what's up? What you got?
No, it was actually a random question you made me think of. And it was, did anybody else notice that for this game, I can think of at least 3 or 4 different times when there was play happening during commercial break. We missed an entire kickoff at least twice as far as punt returns. Once for the Giants and one for us. All of a sudden we'd come back and it was a 1st and 10. And I'm going, how are we missing? What the fuck is going on with this network? I know that's
no. It's because they're money grubbing losers on ESPN that will do anything for an extra $1. They'll sell out to anyone. Coors Light, you want to sponsor my logo in the corner? You got it. It's like NASCAR on that network, and no one can stop them. They just keep making more ESPNs. There's like 15 of them now. I can't even enjoy one of them. I don't like that network. And that's crazy from a guy who's obsessed with sports, that there's a sports network that's fucking blowing it worse than Bisaccia is.
But back to Bisaccia.
Excellent.
I think we should recognize how incredibly thin this team is spread. and how little time he probably gets with these guys. He's like, hey, Rudy, get over here and practice. And Rudy's like, sorry, coach, I got to go be a safety corner. The defense practices also right now. And Bisaccia's like, hey, but are you going to bring some other guys to practice? Like, no, we start on defense now, coach. Like, I just think that part of like being, so you got to be prepared to be thin and have guys that can do many things and play many positions and maybe play several phases. But I feel like the guys he was really relying on got hurt early, and the other guys all got siphoned away to other parts. And LaFleur's not great at managing that, to the point where Bisaccia's got, I don't know, it didn't look like they practiced. I don't know how you give up 15 yards, like back to back on penalties. And that's to start the game. That's not after your guys are exhausted or chippy or what. That's just like mental errors.
Yeah, and for this tough guy that he's supposed to be, this tough coach, he also seems like a guy who's like, I want to keep him on. He's a good guy. That guy does charity on the weekend. That's the kind of guy for me. Like, that's not what makes a great football player. This is a violent sport. Okay, I appreciate the Make-A-Wish time that everyone is required to spend and all this. But on Sundays, I don't need the man of the year. The man of the year is the worst linebacker we have. Like, this coach kept our a terrible wide receiver that was gnawing at Aaron Rodgers until he used the press to get him fired. He stuck with this guy and let him flub punts and kickoffs for half a year.
We talked about it for sure. We complained about it.
His judgment of character, Dallin Levitt, not a good player. You know what I mean? He's not a great judge of athletic prowess. So, like, I as far as results are shown,
I think, Tyson, as soon as the schnoz went down for the year is when we knew we were fucked, you know?
Yeah, Squid, we needed the schnoz. That guy's nose was the thing that we all could huddle up inside and feel the warmth of camaraderie of special teams. You know, that guy was the best damn blocking tight end you didn't care about that we ever lost. And
And I just want to say, again, before we go to break here, fuck you, Anders Carlson. Figure out what the fuck you're doing. Either switch to the left foot. I don't give a fuck. But you can't miss a 32-yarder and then make a 38-yarder and then make a 48-yarder and then miss a 10. You know what I'm saying? Figure it out. Figure it out, dude.
Yeah, as long as we're talking about all the mistakes that we could have won with, there was 5 points that we left on the board that were special teams. We could have comfortably won that game as sloppy as we played, just if we would have special teams just would have done their job.
Jazz, I feel like the laces were out on that one too. So I mean, just give the guy another week.
Oh, dude, I looked, and guess what? They weren't. They were. They were. Oh, Jesus.
They were in. The laces were in.
Oh, Jesus. With that, folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in just a second with 2D and a C. Like, share, subscribe.
All that Dan Marino's fault. Everyone knows that. If he had held the ball laces out like you're supposed to, Ray would never have missed that kick. Dan Marino should die of gonorrhea and rot in hell. Would you like a cookie, son?
What do you know? They're little footballs.
Laces out.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. We're talking Green Bay Packers football.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to 2D and a C. We want to thank all of our followers, likers, subscribers, and sharers. We're going to move on to talking about the Bucs. And here to take you through it is my man Tyson.
Why, thank you, Chaz. And, folks, a little surprise for the 2D and a C crew here. We are going to talk about the Bucs. We are going to move forward to next week. But before we do, there's one more thing about last week that we have not covered, and I wanted to be fair to the experience, and I'd be remiss not to mention that last week, although we did lose a game, a very important event happened, which is a birthday for our very own Chazzy Wazzy buddy baby boy. Guys, I want to give a special thanks and awareness out to the good 2D and a C nation. This man works for you, okay? You're wondering, how do these things get on all these platforms? Where do all these cool graphics come from? You know, when I feel like it's just up and people are promoting it. This is all Chaz, man. This guy busts his ass so that we can get this pod out to you guys every week. We are two dads and a Chaz, and the two dads, we're pretty booked. So we really could not do it without Chaz. And I wanted to say personally from the bottom of my heart, thank you, brother, for all you do. And I really appreciate what we're building together.
Well, thank you so much. I will keep
Happy
it light.
birthday!
Thank you. It was
Very
a
well
weekend,
said, Tyson.
a weekend of debauchery. Obviously, for those of you that are watching, it started as a toga party, which was thrown together by my sweet and lovely gal. It ended
You were
with,
ready.
it ended with me
You had a slide.
in a kilt, and there I had antlers tied to my head. We did a full Bacchus Roman Greek thing. It was awesome. Followed by we did a non-singing lip sync battle, which somehow Mel and I only took second place, which makes no sense. Yeah, and I know. It was rigged.
You
Yeah,
must be
Fix
no.
was in. The fix was in.
It was rigged. It was to raise money for a honeymoon, and one of the wives won the competition. So I if I was going to lose to anybody, that's fine. That's fine. There were two wives,
I
by the way.
want to go to your kind of parties where they give away free trips for singing. I'm into this. Let me get on board.
But thank you, gentlemen. This has truly been a dream come true, and I always look forward to hanging out with you guys and doing this. But again, we got to talk about the Bucks. Thank you, Tyson. Take it away.
All right, guys, we're back with a little bit of Baker ball. That's right. Baker Mayfield's back. And I'd be joking and lying to you if I told you I'm not a fan, that I was not a fan. I think Baker Mayfield's a good quarterback. And if you think Tommy DeVito's good, watch out, because this guy's better. There's no way around it. There's no way around looking at this Bucks team, looking at the names that are on it and being like, wait a minute, isn't that the guy from when we lost that NFC championship? And wait, isn't that the guy from when they won the Super Bowl? Like, yeah, they're all still there, man. Tommy's gone. The rest of them, Tom Brady is gone. A lot of these other guys are still on the team, still thriving, still athletic issues, and they have a beyond a game manager in Baker Mayfield. So let's break it all down, leave out some facts. Baker is actually playing pretty good ball for the Tampa Bay Bucks. As far as I can tell, he has embraced the role of game manager. He's realized he is not as good as his big balls and little dick has made him feel like he might be. He throws the ball hard every single time. He has a little touch. He leads guys. He does throw some anticipation. But he's got studs all over the team. Let's talk about it. Mike Evans, Godwin. These guys are still there. That's maybe the best 1-2 combination of wide receivers in the game. At least it was a couple of years ago. They're not hurt. Seems like it should work, and it does. They have a real solid tight end they just drafted. There's just a lot on the offense, too, in terms of their offensive line that are guys that have played together. Continuity, multiple years. These guys have been on this team for 3-4 years. Ryan Jensen can't stay healthy, but when he is in there, it's a totally different game. Luckily, his backup's playing right now. But we have a lot of things that we have to consider now after getting beat by the Giants. Can we hang with this team, guys? Are we worried about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I'm worried about everybody at this point.
It depends what Packers team shows up, because we can lose to the Giants, but we can beat the Chiefs. We lose to the Lions in embarrassing fashion and then show up in their house and beat them in front of the nation. I don't know who this Packer team is. I don't think this Packer team knows who they are, but I hope that they're the better team, the better version that I've seen. And there are significant differences to this Buccaneers team from the one we lost. They don't have Tom Brady, and they don't have Bruce Arians, their head coach, who was a football genius. This Todd Bowles for their head coach is largely an unknown. He's another guy who's figuring it out. And even though he's had all these pieces with the continuity, these guys are 2-3 years older than they were. And I don't know I think he feels like, to me, like he's still trying to figure it out.
Well, he's his third head coaching job, so he should figure it out by now. He's also been defensive coordinator of like some really successful teams. He
For
also
some
was,
really good coaches.
yeah, he also was the defensive coordinator for that Tampa Bay team, and just somehow got a raise while the other guy got kicked out. Like that's how good Todd Bowles is. He's also a middle of the road. They're playing a 4-3 defense. They are running a run first offense. They are doing run, pass. You know what you're going to get out of them. The problem is that their kicker doesn't miss kicks. Their running back gets 4 yards every single time. They wear you down. Their offensive line is strong and kind of gets stronger as the game goes on. And
Mike
Baker,
Evans, their wide receivers do too. Mike Evans is one of those
Baker
wide
doesn't
receivers
need to make
who's so
plays.
good in the fourth.
If we have any chance against this team, our defense has to shoot gaps. We have to play on their side of the line of scrimmage. We have to stop the run game. And their running squad is good. It is guys I wasn't familiar with. I mean, I was in Chase Edmonds, who's a fast guy, kind of a smaller guy. Who I'm not familiar with is Rashad White, who looks gigantic. Wears a stupid number 1. I hate that, by the way. You know what grinds my gears? Everybody wearing stupid numbers now. What the fuck happened to numbers? Why do we start wearing stupid numbers? Everybody's wearing 1s and 9s and fucking kicker numbers. Everyone's a kicker now. I want to be a kicker. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, Rashad White, number 1, looks like he's about 6'5". I don't know how tall he is. Someone look that up. But he looks huge. And he just falls like Ryan Grant used to, forward for like 3 yards. Like, and he just wears you down. And that's what happened in this last game. Baker Mayfield is not afraid of having to punt. He seems like he's keeping it even keeled over there. I was pretty impressed with his play, considering it was right above mediocre. But for a game manager, top flight. So I'm worried about this team. We can't afford the amount of mistakes, even a fraction that we had last week. This is going to need to be a 100% turnaround, because this team is on a 4-game winning streak. And they are
6 and 7 like us. Are they 6 and 7 like us?
Yeah. And they need
so they're in the hunt.
They're in the
right
driver's
there.
seat, guys. They're
Like,
in the driver's seat.
This is
They
for
beat
the
us. They're
tiebreaker.
in. Yeah,
This is for the
they
tiebreaker.
need
If it
this.
comes to it, like the winner of this is likely the team that gets that kicker from the win on this game.
LA, Seattle, Atlanta, and New Orleans also 6 and 7.
Right, but we still hold the 7th spot, regardless of all those matchups. And we lost to the Falcons. They're also in the hunt. We are still, even after that loss, the holder of the 7th spot. If everything ended, we'd still get in. So, like, I'm not saying we deserve to. Yeah, but we still need to win all the games, especially division games. And guys,
here's what I don't like about last week's loss is that we could have been so in the driver's seat. We could have been the masters of our own destiny and still hard charging towards the end of the season. Now we're going to need a thing to fall our way. We're going to need a team to watch. We're already starting to get into that part of the season. What game was I watching this last weekend where I was rooting for the Bears to beat the Lions? And I'm like, this is such a weird part of the season where all of a sudden I'm like selfishly invested and like rooting for the Bears. And it's just because
you take that back. You bite your tongue.
It's where we are now. It's where we are.
Guys,
we need some things to fall our way. And here we are in the hunt, despite all the obstacles, all the things that like we've had to overcome, the injuries, the guys that haven't, no Bakhtiari, no Jair. We've had to do the entire season on a shoestring and make guys do 3-4 different jobs. So I think that, you know, there's still a chance, and I'm always going to be in it until I'm out. But man, I'd like to see us figure out that difference. What is that trigger? What is that key? What separates us from beating the Chiefs to losing to the Giants?
I think it's keeping it simple. I think we made it too complicated. I think we got excited. I think we tasted the national press's front-running energy. These are young kids. They aren't accustomed to success on this level. They aren't accustomed to turning on the TV and on ESPN seeing themselves and hearing people say, watch out for this team. There's no way that doesn't make you let off the accelerator in some regards. It should motivate you, but it definitely distracts and takes away. Like we said, like Chaz said in the opener, this team is ready and prepared to play the role of underdog. In fact, we're maybe the most dangerous one in the league. But contender, front runner, absolutely not. Completely ill-equipped to manage that kind of pressure, to know how to even like handle that situation in a way that is natural. The good news, boys, we're right back in our catbird spot. Okay. By losing this game, we're officially underdogs for the rest of the year. Okay. If we win out as underdogs, we get to go to the playoffs. If we lose the next 4 games after losing this last game, 5th pick in the draft. Guys, we're at a beautiful cusp of a road right now. We're
Take a look
either
there, buddy.
still have time to rebuild if we blow it, and we still have time to make the playoffs if we can play 1 month of solid football. And this year, we've only played like 6 weeks of solid football. So, like,
Mayhew, what do you think about being in the hunt?
Being in the hunt. No, I'm comfortable with where this team is at right now. I think I even personally got a little bit ahead of myself looking at the schedule, just kind of riding that wave a little bit. And I think, Tyson, you hit on like everything on the Buccaneers that I thought as well. You know, so many weapons on offense, really good like offensive line. Defensively, Todd Bowles plays, like you said, the 4-3, but it's sound, and he has playmakers. And when healthy, I think the best inside linebacker core in the entire NFL. They also 6-7. They're at the top of their division, and they're coming off a win last week where, Baker Mayfield in the final moments led them down for end of game win against a division rival. So they're coming in hot. I think I'm excited that this game is at home. I think it's a good opportunity to kind of get things back on track. And Tyson Rashad White is coming in at 6 foot 214, so pretty standard size for a running back.
It's the number. It's the single number.
It might be his arms are 31 and a quarter. That might be what you're looking at.
He just it's that Baker's such a stubby little guy. He looks so tall next to him.
The Baker does have that. He's got a lot of that Brett Favre-ness.
I know.
I like Baker too because
I can't not like him.
It's like you're gonna win it or lose it on Baker's like believing in himself or thinking that he can do this. And sometimes he does, and you're like, whoa, way to go, Baker. And sometimes he just like throws like 3 incredible interceptions back to back to back. And he's like, man, I really thought I had that. You know, so it's like Baker's one of those guys, and we can trust that Baker is gonna show up and have a few moments. Our defense has to be ready to capitalize on those moments, but he will present them. He will give us turnover opportunities.
Well, aside from the Kansas City Chiefs, this is the best defense I think we have left to play this year, to be honest. And also, don't sleep on the Bears. That Vontaze Sweat pickup was a big deal. That guy is changing their defense one person. I'm just saying, like, they could spoil our season if we win 3 and lose to the Bears. That would certainly suck, right? But they still have Levante David. They still have Antoine Winfield Jr. They still got this guy, Darby, who's the number 0 linebacker who is awesome and plays really well. They have a cornerback named Carlton Davis, who had one of the sickest interceptions I've ever seen. So there's this new trend in the NFL with all this RPO play where the quarterbacks turn their back to the play. They go, they fake the back, they do like a little spin, and they turn around and whip it back. And the idea is that corner saw his back turn, ran to the spot where that screen, just a screen to what's the name of that running back on the Falcons, like the best one, Bijan Robinson. He throws it to him with some velocity. Doesn't matter. He beats him to the point, makes an amazing interception. Now, this guy doesn't tackle. I've watched him ole everybody who comes near him, but he's a hawk. He's going for picks. And we should, I don't know who's even playing at wide receiver for us in this game. It might be Malik Heath.
It might be Aaron.
No, maybe it might. Well, Aaron, you better hope. No, it might be Aaron Jones might be back, and I think that would make a lot of sense. We need him in this game. We need to inject some speed into this team. We need someone who can stretch the middle of the field with some speed other than Reed. Also, Reed's in concussion protocol. He's kind of our whole offense right now. We need another offense guy, and Jones could really help us.
I'm also riding high on the fact that it's at Lambeau, noon. I think CBS
Finally.
has the coverage, but Sunday at noon. I mean, this is like this team took advantage of the Chiefs being unprepared for how cold Wisconsin is in December. We could run into that advantage again. If it was an advantage last time, I hope it's an advantage again this time.
I know Tyson hit on Reed and concussion protocol, but it's looking like Dontavian Wicks also has a high ankle sprain. So he's right, man. We do not have a lot of offensive firepower going into this one, and we're also a day short on rest playing on Monday as well. So, yeah, we got a lot going against us here, fellas.
Yeah, and they're healthy, and we're not. So, like, again, I think that we have a hard challenge in front of us. We're going to need to go at this with the focus and the attack that we did against the Kansas City Chiefs. We need to understand we are underdogs in this game, folks. Do not go at it as cocky as you did last week. America, I beg of you, do not underestimate another opponent. We have the capacity to be the worst team in the league and beat the best team in the league. Okay, we could beat anybody, but we can lose to anybody.
We're not beating the 49ers. We're not beating the 49ers, Tyson.
All I'm saying is that
I believe in the Super Bowl as much as anybody, but
if we go into it with respecting the team we're going against and consider ourselves underdogs, that's really our only chance. As soon as we see a team as we should beat them, we consistently play poorly. We need a team to be a threat and be considered the obvious winner for us to even sniff our full capacity as a young team. So I don't think that we are a front runner in a single game left in the year. We need to go into all these games understanding all these teams have more experienced players. All these teams are a threat to us. We got to win if we're going to be serious.
Nothing to lose. The Giants held that over us. They really did when they played with nothing to lose. The Panthers are going to come at us with all their favorite plays, all the best stuff they have. It's all garbage, and they're going to turn the ball over a lot. But we have a lot riding on every play. We've got pressure. These teams we're coming up against, with the exception of the Vikings, really, I mean, their only objective is going to be make us look bad.
Well, with that, Mayhew, question for you, brother. What do you think the score is going to be, my man?
23-20 Pack. I think the defense is going to do what they do and keep them to 20 or under. And I think it's not going to be an easy offensive day, but I think we get it done at home.
Ty, what about you, buddy?
We win if we hold these guys under 20. I mean, that's just the way it is. We're going to go Pack 28, Bucks 19.
Damn it. Literally going to say that. God damn it. Tyson?
I'm going to go with Packers 24. And I think that the Buccaneers are going to have 19. And I think it's going to be right under 20. Just like we like to be proud of. We can get back on our thing. Like, hey, we didn't give up 20. We didn't give up 20. And I think that if you are leaving it up to Baker Mayfield in the end to come back, he has the capacity to not get that done. He's going to manage every moment in that game, but that one well. Mm-hmm. He is not that quarterback, and that's why he is no longer a Cleveland Brown.
I'm going to go ahead and say 28-14 because I had to pick something in between two of you guys. So, well, three of you guys. Gents, this was a tough loss this last weekend. Sorry, last week. Monday Night Football. Fuck you, ESPN. Stop splitting the screen. I love doing this podcast with you guys. We got a lot of growing to do. We're a young team. At least I'm doing a podcast with a bunch of guys who aren't fair weather fans as far as when we win and lose. Don't get me wrong. When we win, we think we're the best, but not the way that the Dallas fans down here do. You know what I'm saying? And that's something you can take to the bank. Also, I just watched a very interesting video about somebody who's been to literally, her only job is for social media to go to different stadiums in the NFL and rate the experience. She's been to Lambeau twice, which is the only time she's ever been to a stadium twice. And by far, it's her favorite. And getting to watch some of the videos of that today just made me, even though we lost, said the people around me, they embraced me. People gave me food. People bought me beer. It's the reason I'm a Packer fan, is that kind of love and that kind of just overall camaraderie. And that even though you're coming into a cold, sometimes wet, dreary day at 7:00 at night, it's like getting to go to like Willy Wonka's factory every time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Pretty fucking
And
amazing.
and you love free stuff.
I love free shit. I'm a merch fucking king, baby. Gentlemen, I know we end this with a hashtag every week, so I'm thinking hashtag fuck the Bucks, unless you guys have anything you want to add before we end this bad boy out.
I was going to say hashtag Tampa smells like cheese. But
I was going to say to all the lawyers who've now been paid to summons us, you can get a hold of us through Insta, Facebook, and other avenues.
Oh, yeah. I also wanted to say, guys, like and subscribe, motherfuckers. Come on. We need this. You're listening. You're not liking. What? You don't like us? When you like it, it makes the algorithm like us, and then we get other places other than just you 65 wonderful subscribed fans that we see every single week. Please like, share, tell people about the pod. We're doing this for fun. We're doing it because we love it, but we do it because we love you guys. And if you like the content, you think it's good, hit us back. Give us some comments. We'll comment on your comment, and then also spread it around, and we'd really appreciate the love.
You look like you're going to say something, man. You go ahead. Let's hear it. Come on.
Leave reviews too, even if you don't like the pod, and we can fucking shred you on air. It'll be fun for everybody,
Absolutely.
Interactive.
3, 2, 1. What is it? What was it? Bucks smell like cheese. What was it? Florida smells like cheese.
Yeah,
What did you say?
It's so laid out right in front of us. Guys, let's inspire the Packers to simplify. Don't overthink it. They rhyme.
Yeah.
Fuck the Bucks.
Bucks.
Okay.
2, 1. Hashtag.
Fuck the Bucks.
Bucks.
Nate.
Tampa Bay
Laces
Bucks.
out.
Go Milwaukee
Laces
Bucks.
out. Laces out. Laces out.
Two dads and a jazz, putting trophies on the wall. Two dads and a jazz is talking Green Bay Packers football. Not exactly qualified, but answers the call. Two dads and a jazz, talking Green Bay Packers football.
We gonna break it all down, probably leave out some facts. We gonna make some statements that we'll likely regret. Most of gossip and rumors made straight off the top. So crank up the air condition, cause it's bound to get hot.
Two dads and a jazz, we live it and we live it right. Two dads and a jazz, we gonna break down football for you tonight. Besides them rings and putting trophies on the wall.
Trophies, y'all.
Two dads and a jazz is talking Green Bay Packers football. Yeah, we talking Green Bay Packers football.